Hi, everyone. How are you? So my name is Ayse Hogan, for those of you that don't know me. And I am the visionary and the founder of IAUSM. And IAUSM is the International Academy of Universal Self-Mastery. So today we have an amazing guest, and I'm just waiting for her to show up. But I wanted to take a moment and just explain to you what IAUSM is all about. So let's talk about the word spirituality, right? Let's talk about that word spirituality. And spirituality to me means self-love. You know, if you take out all of, because I think what people do is when they think of spirituality, they immediately think of religion or they think of woo-woo, that's what they're thinking about. But spirituality to me means, first of all, spirituality is not something that you become. You already are. The question becomes, how connected are you with yourself? And how connected are you to all the possibilities around you? So that's really what it means. But it starts with self-love. And self-love might sound a little foo-foo and, just a little bit, what's the word? Like, yay, self-love, like pom-poms. But self-love is really about appreciating who you are. And I had a really interesting conversation today with some friends of mine, and we were talking, and we talked about how some people, when this life is over, when this life, for whatever reason, natural causes, we get older, whatever it is, the sad part about it is that a lot of people don't actually know who they are on that last day. They know what other people want them to be. They know what they tried to do to fit into other people's molds. But what they don't know is actually who they are. They don't know what they were meant to do. And it's amazing how you can live in this vehicle for however many years you're in it, and you don't have a clue about who you are, what you want, how you can live limitless, what you were meant to do, how to do it, because we're so, I guess it's fear, right? We so want to be connected that we're doing it the wrong way. We so want to be connected that we think that if we live according to what somebody else wants for us, then we will be connected to that person. Right? So it's unfortunate, but it definitely is a thing. It's definitely a thing. And if you're honest with yourself, how many things that you do in your life are because you want this, you love it. It makes you feel fulfilled. It makes you feel, because, people judge themselves by success as well. And success doesn't always lead to fulfillment. You can be successful, but not be fulfilled, right? I don't know if it works the other way around. Can you be fulfilled, but not be successful? Depends on what your definition of successful is, I guess. Successful doesn't always mean gads of money and big houses. Successful could be, just successful in the things that mean something to you, right? So self-mastery, which is what this academy is about, self-mastery is really about really going within, finding who you are, living your truth, and doing it in a way that feels good, right? Doing it in a way that where things just are starting to roll for you in your life because you're on path, you're on purpose. Things are just happening, right? Much of the time, though, that's not the case because we've lived whatever life we've lived. We've got this story that we've got out there, and we've become our story. We've become our past. We've become our story, and we're so stuck in that story and that definition of who we think we are because of that story that we stop ourselves from moving forward. We stop ourselves from understanding the capabilities and the strategies and the tools that we actually have. So when I'm talking, so for instance, when I'm talking to one of my clients, they might tell me things like, I can't do this. I've always suffered with that. I don't have enough of this. I'm not enough of that. And, and they're telling you these things. I mean, clearly that's why they're coming to me, because if they felt great about themselves, they wouldn't be coming to me. So my one response to them is always, why are you focusing on everything that you are not? We're not all good at everything. But for some reason, we think we're supposed to be. We're not all good at everything. I'm really good at a lot of things. I am really good at a lot of things. And then other things, I pretty much suck. Like if you ask me to stand here and sing right now, or play the piano, or draw a picture, or there's so many things that I can't do. But I don't take that as a fault or a flaw that I have. I don't take that as, oh, well, I can't do that, so I'm not good, right? Of course you are, because you are really good at a lot of things. And especially if you've lived a lifetime of, I guess a lifetime, I'm just waiting to check on my guest here. If you've lived a lifetime of difficulties and struggles and trauma, but you're here, right? You're here. And you look at all of those things and you're like, oh, I'm so depressed because of this. And, that doesn't work out for me. And I don't have enough of this. And I try to do that. But what you don't realize, what you're not looking at, is that how did you get here? Right? How did you get here? My guest has arrived. So I'm going to bring her into that. But I want you to think about that. How did you get here? So let's bring her in. Hi, Dorothy.
Hi there.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's an adventure. We're walking on this journey.
It definitely is. So I want to take a moment and look, did you see what I bought today? Look, I always get screwed up because I found this light thing. But I only can't turn it on. It says big love, like a talk bubble.
Right.
On the wall.
When you got it, you got it.
So I want to introduce you to everybody, obviously. So everyone, this is Dr. Dorothy Martin Neville. And she is a speaker. She is an author. She is amazing at leadership and being a confidant, which she is starting to play that role in my life. She works with many visionary leaders, and she's supported many clients through lots of different business mergers and their companies opening and being really good in the boardroom. And there's a statement that I'm reading here that you wrote, and I want to know what this means to you, because I feel like this is part of your why. Okay. So it says, I love watching my clients get it. I watch my clients get it in that moment of discovering their unlimited potential, while releasing the ways in which they have betrayed their authentic self with illusions of limitations and fear.
Right.
And when I read that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. So describe to us what that's like. Is that your why? Is that it?
Well, my why is truly to remind people that this is a spiritual journey, that we are here to truly live this, not survive this journey, to live it and become the best of whatever we are meant to be, and to really jump in. And so for me, it's owning the I am. When you have the ability to claim your I am and be present in that, there's no limit. I just finished and I'm starting a new workshop in January. It's on purpose, passion, and power. When you find your spiritual purpose, your passion is ignited. And when your passion is ignited, you feel immensely powerful and you're ready to go. It's just like, I'm here. It's clear. There's no question. There's no self-doubt. All of those issues of self-doubt, do I have a purpose? It's because we got lost.
Yes.
We got lost. And the way I describe it, and I actually did a talk last night, I'm doing a talk again tonight. We are here in this chair, these embodied souls, embodied essence, however you see this. Over there on the other side of the room is the life you've created.
Right.
Your lovers, your friends, your businesses, your kids, spouses, whatever you have, that's all over there. You're over here. And if you remember that you are not your life, you never get lost.
That's true.
All right. So
That is
for
so true.
me, it's to get that message across that this is your journey. All of those things are going to come and go. They're all going to change. But this just continuously unfolds if you allow it. And there's no limit.
True enough. So I'm gonna ask you a question that maybe nobody's asked you before. So you said, you know, what this why is, and I want to take that another level deeper.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you why that is important to you.
Why that is important to me? I think because I was a child raised in an orphanage, and then I was adopted by an Irish alcoholic cop and raised in the housing projects of South Boston in the inner city. And nowhere in that equation was there room or permission to exist. Was there permission to really look at who am I and who is it I choose to become?
Right.
Because what I was continuously told was what I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't legitimate. I didn't belong in a good Irish Catholic home. I couldn't go to college because my inner city school was unaccredited, and on and on and on and on.
Right.
And so finally, when I was blessed to reach a stage where I said, hey, I can. And I looked around and I thought, God, that wasn't me. That's the vast majority of folks out there.
Absolutely.
So I thought, okay, girl. And I truly believe that we came here to learn what it is we came here to teach. That's every one of us. We came here to learn what we came here to teach. So when you don't know what your purpose is, what's the greatest life lesson you've got?
Right. What have you experienced in your life? Absolutely. That's what you need to look at.
What is the greatest life lesson you have gotten? That's what you're here to teach. And it's never a negative. It's always a positive. It's never against something or whatever. It's for, you know, it's like, I'm not against racists. I'm for dismantling racism.
But isn't that something like the same as like Mother Teresa said?
Well, it perhaps, you know, it's when your energy is all for, it feeds you. When it's against, it puts you in battle.
Yes.
And when you're in battle energetically, that creates such discord in your system, which creates illness. Be for something and go for it.
And that is so, like when you say the for and the against, immediately that reminds me of that statement Mother Teresa made when they asked her to walk in a parade.
Yep.
That was for the Vietnam War. And it was to walk against war. And she said, I will never walk against war. But if you ever have a parade that's for peace,
I will be there.
I'll be there.
Right. What a huge difference. What an absolutely huge difference energetically and what it does to your body and everything else, you know? I
think that what a lot of people don't know is what we resist persists. So the more we push against war and battle and stuff, the more it's going to push back against us.
Right. It's huge. It's huge. And we really got to just keep working. But you know, when you're doing what you love, it just fills you with passion.
It does. It does. And it doesn't even feel like work. It just feels like, I'm doing something great here. Now look at you. You've got like a BA, an MA, a PhD. She got a lot of letters. And there was a few things that I read and I said, it was like, what is the WISE? You're like me, acronyms. We love acronyms. So what is the WISE method? What is that?
The WISE method is a method of energy medicine I created many years ago, probably 30 years ago now. My God, bless us and save us. I was a child that I created. And what I did is I had been practicing as a psychotherapist, seeing 42 patients a week. And I began to notice that people with certain personalities presented with particular physiological disorders.
Right.
And that intrigued me. When I talked to friends who were MDs, they said, no, I think it's a coincidence. There's really nothing to that. And I thought, I think there really is. So I went and I became certified in 9 different modalities of integrative healthcare about 4 or 5 of them were in Eastern medicine, but I just went and kept studying and studying. And what I ended up doing was obviously we all have our own opinions, our own biases. I took the best of all the modalities I had studied,
Right.
combined it with my life experience as a therapist and my own intuitive and spiritual knowing, and created a technique of working with the human body, recognizing emotional defenses and fears and wounds and so forth, and how all of that dis-ease was impacting the physical body, the energetic field.
Right.
So as I worked with what was going on emotionally and pragmatically in their lives, I was able to begin to change perspective. I was able to see another way of looking at this, another way of doing life. And when I could do that and begin shifting the energy patterns in the body, it really worked. And so the WISE method really is an approach to energetic balance that comes in through the psychospiritual belief systems of a patient. And by shifting psychospiritual beliefs, we shift the energy patterns in the body. And when my practitioners, I had a school for 19 years teaching the WISE method to physicians, nurses, OTs, PTs, Reiki masters, massage therapists, all kinds of folks, and then lay people. And it really was, let's look always. My first question to anybody is, what was going on at point of onset? Let's look at what this is really about. It's not about disease. That's a symptom. All disease begins spiritually. So what spiritual beliefs were overriding your life at that moment that was creating such dis-ease in your system that physiological disease took place?
It's true.
Yeah, it is.
People, we've had some fascinating people like that. I've talked to some really fascinating people since I've started IAUSM, and it's always been like, there's been trauma. There's been, even like you work with fibromyalgia. I've worked with fibromyalgia. And, it's always, there's been like a big trauma.
Yeah.
In the life.
I received, my doctoral dissertation actually focused on the psychospiritual correlates and causality of disease and disorders. And I received a large grant funding from NIH to research my work with fibromyalgia patients. And they were at the time, in the beginning, this is the beginning days of fibro back in the 80s, they were told that it was a chronically debilitating disorder that would have them in wheelchairs and in great pain by the end of their lives. I created an 8-week protocol, and we had the control group and the treatment group. And in the treatment group, at the end of the 8 weeks, over 87.5% of the people who walked in with walkers or crutches or canes no longer were using any of that paraphernalia. A few that had been on walkers for an extended period of time needed PT to strengthen their bodies again, but none of them had pain, either no pain or they had gone from levels of 9 to 10 down to 1. And they knew how to eradicate it when it showed up because I gave them some life skills to eliminate the pain when it showed up. So when I see people that are invested in a belief system, that fibromyalgia is lifelong and they're victims, it's painful and nobody understands, my heart goes out to them, because if you believe you are ill, you will be ill.
Exactly.
Google
is not your friend always.
Oh my God. A doctor.
Google is not your friend always.
No, a doctor tells you you've got a year to live. How many of them are going to die to that day? Because that's where I'm going.
I look at my father. Like my father, he was going in for a valve replacement.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he has arrhythmia, some things like he'd had heart issues. But if you saw my dad genetically, so was 75, close to 75. And he looked like he was probably 60 or 55, and he was in great shape, charming, attractive, all that kind of stuff. See where I get it from. And so he had all of that going for him. And then he went in for the surgery. And when he came out, the surgery went fine. But he went into what they called it sundowner.
Right.
We found out about a month after that he actually had really bad cancer in his liver, and nobody knew it. He'd actually had it for a very long time. And I guess all the medication that they gave him had triggered this because he couldn't filter the drugs in his system. So he wasn't actually having sundowner, he couldn't get the drugs out of his system,
Yeah.
right? So, but watching him in 7 months, like even in 2 months, he looked from, 55, 60 to like 95 and half his weight. It was this drastic change.
Yeah.
And then when he found out about this in his liver, he just went like downhill after that. And, we were grateful to have 7 months with him, but it was a rough 7 months. Like it was a very rough 7 months.
Yeah.
But he was always like I got this.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that was gone. I couldn't see that in him anymore. And that was hard.
Once you begin to feel vulnerable,
yeah,
you start to feel powerless. All right. And when nobody can help you get out of that, your whole system starts to close down because of the illusions of powerlessness and vulnerability.
Yeah.
But the truth is, we're all going to go home at some point.
That is true.
How we go home, the way we go home, all of that is what's going to be defined. What's going to be defined for us. Yeah.
But then there's been people who have come back from stuff like that. Like they've come back because their belief system is that I got this. Like
Right.
This isn't going to bring me down. I got this.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So,
which is
and they do what needs to be done.
Yeah. It's different from a victim fighting against a disease. Again, we're fighting against a victim fighting against a disease is dramatically different than somebody who has a disease strengthening everything in them to come
for wellness.
Right. So there's two very different pieces. One is fighting against what's going on inside of themselves. And I wonder if that isn't something they've been doing their entire lives. And
Right.
others work towards really celebrating who they are.
Yes.
Dramatically different. And what people present to us can have little to nothing to do with what the truth is inside of themselves.
True enough.
So when people will say to me, I'll say to somebody, that comes about because they are always giving, breast cancer, women who give, and men as well, but primarily women who give and give and give with no sense of self-care. And so I say, no, and she'll say, well, I give so much. Well, how much do you give? Well, once a week, I give to charity a couple bucks. Okay. And so to you, that's an extensive amount.
Right.
So her belief is I give all the time. And everybody else saying, what a cheap son of a bitch. She never does anything. And her thought is, I am just a saint. So we have very different self-images from how people perceive us. So our self-image is what defines our health, not how others perceive us.
Right. No. And we need to start perceiving ourselves. Like we need to start really doing some inside work. And like understanding who you are. And I think today's been the word integrity has come into my life today. And it's about, and which is one of the core values of IAUSM too. And it's really about being honest with yourself.
I was just going to say transparency is another word. Transparency and transparency with yourself first. You have to be, transparent with you. You have to be willing to see what is before you can be transparent with somebody else.
Right. And allowing yourself to be different than what anybody else expects you to be. It's okay. Like it's okay as long as it feels good inside you.
It's probably a lot more fun.
Yeah. Because I've always been the rebel. I got to do whatever I want. So this has been interesting. So now this is the faculty IAUSM faculty lounge talk where we're doing a session, but talking about this. You're one of the founding faculty of IAUSM.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a wonderful course in there for women leaders.
Yep.
Leadership. And that's one of our deeper dive courses.
Right.
So what are you bringing to IAUSM that a student can immediately step into as soon as they come in?
The moment they step in, I guess what I would bring to this, this is a 12-hour discussion, but how to do it in a few minutes time. What I would say I could bring immediately is that if you are surviving this journey, take a step back and recognize that self-betrayal.
Yes.
We are never meant to survive. We are meant to live this journey to the fullest, whatever that means to you. Live it to the fullest, because survival is really close to death. And jump in, and if you want to, just as we said a moment ago, if you don't know what your spiritual purpose is, stop. Step out of victim, step out of illusion, step out of all of those things. What is the greatest life lesson you've learned so far? And how can you teach that?
And do you recognize that it's a lesson? I think that
Mm-hmm.
I call our life experiences, like, people say they have baggage.
Right.
I always call it like walnuts. Like, we have these big bag of walnuts, and some people have, a small bag of walnuts. Some people need a bulldozer to move their bag of walnuts, right? So, but if we're so wrapped up in the shell, but if you just put down the bag, start cracking open the walnuts and eat the meat, because that's the lesson.
Right.
Right. Bring that lesson in and then throw away the shell.
And you'll find out that the lesson came again and again and again and again until you got it.
Right.
Because, I truly believe spirit touches us with a gentle touch. That doesn't work. There's a small slap. Eventually you don't get it, and there's a 2x4 that just knocks you off.
It's true. It's true.
Why not get it when there's a gentle touch?
I think I got hit by a train or something before I got it.
No, some of us take a lot to get it, So we all, what you just think about the beginning of school. Some people study best by themselves. Some study best in groups. Everybody learns differently.
Yeah.
So we can insist on learning it the hardest way possible, or we can eventually learn quicker and softer and more gently. And we don't need to go through, oh my God, what the heck just happened there? We can get it a whole lot easier. But you have to be willing to see. And none of us are perfect. None of us are done till the day we go home. But while we're here, I truly believe we're meant to have a fun trip. It is wild adventure, and it's meant to be that. And my very first, I've written several books. I'm on my 9th right now, but my first book is Dreams Are Only the Beginning of Becoming who You're Meant to Be. And it really talks about the backdrop is my autobiography, but the message of the book is that when you follow your dream, you discover parts of you never knew existed.
Yes.
You discover strengths you never knew you had.
Never knew you had.
You discover fears and wounds and vulnerabilities perhaps you never knew you had. But as it's like you're down here, you've got this dream, and you're climbing this mountain to get there. And as you're preparing that dream, as you're preparing the school, as you're preparing whatever, you realize all the things you didn't know. And then you realize all the things you did know. You recognize strengths you didn't know you had. So by the time you get to the top of the mountain, it's not uncommon that dream you had down here doesn't fit the woman you became up here. And so what that means is it's time to expand the vision, or change the vision, whatever, because this woman is so much more than what this woman was down here.
Yep.
And so we're continuously jumping, plus you're at a top
mountain. I'm going to get better.
Better and better.
That's kind of scary.
And you're excited. Really, I know, but all right. So, but the exciting part of that is that when you're climbing the top of that mountain, you have a vista you never had down here.
True.
So you can see things you never knew were possible when you said, gee, I'm going to do this. Once you're up there, think, oh my God, I could really do this. I could take a local program national. I could take a national program global. I could do, there's no limit.
Everyone did that with help. And that's really the purpose of IAUSM. That's the mission, right? So it's about learning from people like yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Coming into IAUSM, being part of that community and taking courses and being part of the social network that's in there and being supported in that growth.
Right.
Being supported in that growth so that you can do anything that you want to be able to do.
Yeah. Well, which is why most of us are teaching there.
Yeah.
Because we've learned our lessons along the way and want to pass them on. So if I could help you learn with 2 or 3 life lessons versus 45 life lessons, I'm helping you get there faster than I did. And I'm helping you get there with perhaps support that some of us may not have had on the journey. So it's really a way of giving back. It's a way of, I think we're all walking this world together. We're all in it together.
Yeah.
That it's a way of really supporting others walking their journey. And it is a community because we're all in this together. So why not help each others as a global community? We can just advance so much more quickly.
Yeah, it takes a village. I think it takes a village.
It really does take a village. Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about the course that you're going to be taking that's starting in January, I believe?
Right. This course is called Real Women Change the World, Letting the Good Girl Die so the Real Woman Can Live. So many women I have worked with as a therapist, seeing 42 patients a week, and as a leadership coach, are women who have shown how powerful they are, how successful they are, and yet they are still trying to be the good girl. They want to see themselves as infinitely powerful, and yet they back down in a minute when they think they're going to offend somebody. No, I don't believe any of us should intentionally choose to offend somebody.
Right.
But if somebody gets offended because of something I say in my own integrity, that I say we're all in this together, and they're offended by that because no, we're not. Some of us are just better than others. Oh, really? I don't necessarily agree with you. I don't think you're any better than anybody. That's offensive. Well, that was not my intent. I was just sharing with you my thoughts. All right.
Right.
So many women hold themselves back for fear, or they spend a lot of time. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You end up basically apologizing for existing. So we're working on mindset. What is your mindset when it comes to success? Whatever that means to you. I mean, success doesn't mean you make $6 trillion a year. What does success mean to you?
Right.
So, what is your mindset, and do you deserve it? Or do you not deserve it? Is it for other people? Are you unlimited and capable of achieving it? And if so, let's just get going. And then how do you communicate? Some people feel I stated it clearly. Well, you did, but you did it angrily.
Right.
Did it as a sweet little victim. So how are you communicating? What is your mindset? Do you practice mindfulness? So there's on and on, really looking at what we need to do to solidly hold our position. Because my bias, and I will own this, is that women are the ones who will be transforming this world.
Yes.
We're infinitely powerful as are men, but much of our power comes from our heart. And this world needs all the heart it can get right now.
It sure does.
All right.
It sure does. Right now, absolutely. I'm in total agreement there.
So to me, it's really about supporting women and men who are ready, men who are in touch with their heart, with that element of themselves that's transformative rather than just educational or successful. It really is about, look at mindset, look at communication skills, look at self-care. It's about also owning our lower selves. Every one of us has it. Every one of us enjoys that little witch inside of us, And I said that because I'm a lady. But every one of us enjoys that part of us. Own it. Don't pretend you don't have it, because you do. And when it shows up, laugh at her, because she's really quite funny if you get to know her, and if you're not busy hiding and pretending you don't see her or don't have it.
Well, taking her so seriously. Like, I think we just take ourselves too seriously.
No. And my friends who know me intimately will say to me, oh, Southie's out. I come from South Boston and it's called Southie. And they'll say, oh, your Southie is out. Say, she really is. And we enjoy her thoroughly because she's so outrageous. It's not who I would put out there, because that's who I was, a number of years ago. It's not who I am today, but she's still alive and kicking in here. So when we can own that shadow side, or own that side of us that wants to just slap somebody across the head because they're just being so stupid, own it. Don't pretend you're saintly. None of us are that saintly, darling. Some of us are more in denial, but none of us are that saintly. We all have that part of us. So own it. So because that's just energy, and that's energy you can use to support your leadership. You can support going forward. You can support creating the life you choose. So it really is all about authentic, transparent leadership that helps you own the I am.
Yes. I think it's going to be a great course.
Yeah. And I want to take every single person who joins that up and let them fly, let them claim their power. I'm not going to be intimidated by the power. Let them claim their power and go for it, because God, the more powerful people we have out there, the better. Authentic power we have out there, the better. That we need them to help transform this planet.
I'm going to leave things on that note, because that's a great note. And for those of you who are interested in taking Dr. Dorothy, Ask Dorothy's course, as well as, oh my God, so many other teachers are offering so much inside IAUSM. Come in. It's iawsm.com, IAUSM.com, and just be a part of the community, be a part of something, be a part of something that step into your limitlessness, step into it and own it.
Community is what brings out the very best in you. And when you join a community that's sole purpose is to bring out the best in you, you're just going to exude the best of who you are. You're going to exude everything about who you were here to become. And every dream is only the beginning. So you join this, make this a dream, and join our community. It's only the beginning, because who knows what dreams we can help open up for you. Yeah,
absolutely. And you are awesome.
I love that sign right behind you. IAUSM is right there.
It is. I keep putting my head the wrong way. Big love. Big love from IAUSM.
Right.
So thank you so much, Dorothy. Thank you for taking the time today to share your awesomeness.
Oh, you are so welcome.
And thank you for coming and being a part of IAUSM, for being a part of our faculty. You're on our advisory board now too, and you're just an incredible human being, and I just love you to pieces.
Thank you, and congratulations on starting this program. I mean, we need people. I had a school for 19 years. Here we go. You create one. We can do this. And who knows what your school is going to look like in 19 years. So we shall see. As you smile at the thousands of people you've touched and the faculty that have come and all the things that have taken place, because you're creating a movement, not just a moment.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for taking the time to listen today, and have a beautiful day, and step into your love. Step into the love that you have for yourself. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.